Boston Red Cross.
Reporting from the State House.
Student here at Suffolk University.
Boston Neighborhood Network.
We're getting the biggest update.
Have nearly double the capacity.
MBTA official.
Convenience store like this. I'm reporter Maria Valdez. Join me on the next edition of Suffolk.
Hello, welcome to this edition of Suffolk U News, the weekly news program brought to you by the Department of Communication Journalism at Suffolk University. I'm Andrew Scheinthal from Houston, Texas.
And I'm Julissa Rosari from New Britain, Connecticut. We're happy to be coming to you on the Boston Neighborhood Network and, of course, on the World Wide Web.
We're fond of saying here at Suffolk University that we are at the school with the heart and the heart of the city.
And today, we're going to bring you a series of stories that prove that the heart of Boston is its colleges and universities. 47 institutions of higher education call the greater Boston area home.
We defined home for today as schools that have their main campus in the 617 or 857 area codes. Of course, there's Suffolk University, and most of you are familiar with Boston University and Boston College, MIT, and Harvard.
But there are smaller schools too, less known colleges and universities like the Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology, Cambridge College, and Newberry College.
Labouré, LaSalle, Lesley, and the Longy School of Music. Again, 47 colleges and universities in our 2 Metro Boston area codes. And
so today, we're bringing you stories just about campuses and students and the issues that affect both. We begin right here at Suffolk.
Suffolk University has narrowed its presidential search to 2 people. The final 2 candidates are Baruch College Provost James McCarthy and Dean of the College of Humanities at the University of Utah, Robert Newman. Mr. Newman confirmed his candidacy to Suffolk U News via email, but would not comment further due to the confidentiality of the process. We were unable to reach Mr. McCarthy at his New York City campus. Both men were recently on the Suffolk campus for interviews. Our Board of Trustees hopes to have a decision made before the end of this academic year.
Suffolk University's future plans for a new academic building at 20 Somerset are still at a standstill after another year of zero progress. Part of the original blueprints were to be the new home for the New England School of Art and Design, otherwise known as NESAD. The art school is currently housed in a leased space that is due to expire a year from now. Chairman William Davis says he, the faculty, and the students cannot be more disappointed when it comes to the uncertainty of what is next for the art school.
Well, the faculty is heartbroken. This is the way I put it. So many of them were very involved in contributing to information that we gathered to help with the design issues. The students, too, I mean, in some cases they came here expecting that the thing would be done by the time they graduated and so forth. And that's not going to be the case.
The university has not made any final decisions on what they plan to do with the building.
A city of colleges and universities means a city of young people prepared to stand up for a cause like Occupy Boston.
Suffolk U News reporter Katie Sampson took to the tents in Boston's Dewey Square to see why students are part of the Occupy protest.
She joins us live now here in the studio. Hi, Katie.
Well, Andrew and Julissa, the average college student is nearly $23,000 in debt. That has led many to now protest the cost of higher education. They've joined the Occupy movement with what they say is a chance for their voices to be heard. The marching continues after more than 2 months since protesters assembled in Boston's Dewey Square to join the Occupy Wall Street movement.
This is protesting privately held government. This is a protest against corporate power denaturing our democracy.
It's a protest attracting people of all ages. Among these are students who've come together to support each other in these tough financial times. In a tent labeled just for them, they discuss the difficulties of paying for school and what they can do about it.
I believe that we should work for our education, but I also feel like, we need the help. We don't have all this money that all the other people do.
MIT student Josh Wankura says students who are struggling with current debt should join him in the Occupy movement.
As students, this is our one piece of evidence that we have that something is wrong with the system. If you're homeless, the fact that you don't have a home is something that indicates that something's wrong with the system. Everybody can find one reason that they see as the system being geared against us.
Even recent grads like Matt Cloyd believe this is the time to change the way the country's education system works.
This is the first time it seemed like direct participation in something could be significant in a really big way.
Part of a larger group of protesters, college students believe that real reform will come from their marches and drumlines, but more importantly, their participation in Occupy Boston. Recent eviction threats have some questioning how long the Boston movement will continue. But Andrew and Jaleesa, the students who I spoke to, say they have no plans of leaving.
Thank you, Katie. So the Dewey Square protesters are allowed to stay for now?
That is until a Suffolk Superior Court judge decides whether to lift an order that bars their eviction.
Correct, and that is expected to be announced by December 15th.
If you're planning on sending your children to school in Boston, be ready to pay a higher than average price for their living expenses. Suffolk U News reporter Karina Bolster looked into exactly which schools are charging the most in the city and how students feel about these high prices.
Boston's rich history and large student population are appealing to many students in their college application process. However, one of the impacting factors with Boston institutions is the more than average room and board costs that accompany tuition. A U.S. News and World Report survey ranked Suffolk University as one of the top 10 most expensive universities in the country when it comes to room and board, but some say it's because of the prime location.
The benefits of living in downtown Boston and having access to everything that Boston offers, as well as having a better chance at getting an internship or a job, kind of makes up for the fact that room and board is so expensive here.
Suffolk is well known for being in the heart of downtown Boston. Still, some students find the school isn't doing enough to justify the cost.
Thanksgiving break beforehand, our door's been broken, tearing up the carpet, and we have complained countless times, and it's now winter break and it's still not fixed.
Other Boston schools are not far behind Suffolk cost-wise. Emerson College, Boston University, Boston College, Harvard University, and others all exceed the national room and board average of $9,000 a year. 2011 Emerson College graduate Lauren Landry says living off campus is definitely a way to control your own costs.
My rent definitely was, I think, cut in half what I would be paying for room and board, and then on top of it, I wasn't even really using everything that I was being offered through the room and board cost.
According to Suffolk's 2008 institutional master plan, its goal is to house 50% of undergraduates in university housing by 2018, a number nearly double its current amount. Karina Bolster, Suffolk U News.
The goal of 50% would require Suffolk to accommodate nearly 1,100 more beds to dorms being planned at this time.
Colleges and universities all over the United States have strived to make their educational programs unique. One approach over the past decade has been to expand primary campuses to locations in different countries. However, the expense of doing so is causing schools to rethink their global expansion. Suffolk University lost $10 million on its West Africa campus in Dakar, Senegal. The program was shut down this year. Now, more than 100 African students are here in Boston continuing their studies.
Many universities with campuses abroad or agreements abroad are kind of retracting a little bit. That is the trend at this point in time. And I think that's the result of basically an overestimation of what the demand for American education on foreign soil.
Despite the disappointment of international campuses in recent years, many universities are still thinking of expanding. Among them, Northeastern University, but its expansion is happening across America. Northeastern opened its first regional campus in Charlotte, North Carolina earlier this semester. This is the first of its several planned expansion locations to be opened across the nation. These graduate campuses will tailor degrees towards job opportunities in the local area. Courses will be taught in a hybrid delivery, which combines online classes with traditional classroom learning. Northeastern's second regional campus is expected to open in Seattle next year.
Changes of a different sort in Cambridge at Harvard University. The Naval ROTC there has made its way back after the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell Act earlier this year. Some students say it is too soon to tell if the move has made a major change, but there is one thing that is left unchanged. The Air Force and Army ROTC still don't have their own space on the Ivy League campus. Students at the Naval program tell us what they hope this move will do for the program and what it was like for them.
I'm really excited that they decided to bring it back, whatever the details were about it, and hopefully with ROTC coming back onto Harvard's campus and all these announcements and press, more people will decide that maybe ROTC at Harvard is for them.
I mean, it gave me an excuse to meet the Secretary of the Navy and talk to the President of Harvard, Drew Faust, and really meet some amazing people and realize how important this was for other people.
University Naval ROTC includes students from MIT, BU, Northeastern, and other colleges in our area. Harvard University has big plans in Austin, a new dorm, and a number of other buildings.
The university is focused on improving its facilities, but Suffolk U News reporter Angela Cristoforos found some residents are concerned about the impacts the development will have on their community.
Tata Hall is the beginning of Harvard University's development in Austin. The neighborhood is the location of the Harvard Business School and a diverse community of families. Tata Hall will add 7 stories, 100 dorm rooms for graduate students, and create 210 construction jobs. But Harvard's decision to build along Soldiers Field Road and Western Avenue has some residents concerned.
The worry is that it will drive up the rents, it will drive up the property values, and we'll just get too expensive to live here.
Tata Hall will cost $100 million to build and is scheduled to be finished by the end of 2013. 2013 also marks the beginning of construction for a retail center and science laboratories at the intersection of Western Avenue and North Harvard Street. This 2-phase construction plan has lifelong Austin resident Bill Gunning concerned about the effect Harvard's expansion is having on the community.
My folks recently, they sold their house within the last 8 years. All the digging going on. The encroachment, I think, has hurt the fabric of this neighborhood.
Harvard points out that the additions will bring diversity to the area and more opportunity for students. Harvard University faculty refused to speak on camera, but in a statement said Tata Hall will house executives that come from all over the world to advance their education, return to their companies and strengthen them, furthering the school's mission of educating leaders that make a difference in the world. Phase 1 of the 2013 construction will be presented to the Boston Redevelopment Authority by June of next year. Angela Cristoforos, Suffolk U News.
The groundbreaking for Tata Hall was Friday, December 2nd, marking the start of Harvard's expansion.
Harvard University is just one of the 32 institutions across the nation that is pledged to fund money in the $1 Billion Green Challenge. This Cambridge-based program encourages colleges, universities, and other nonprofit organizations to invest a total of $1 billion in self-managed funds for green project improvements. Harvard's Green Sustainability Program has completed 50 LEED certifications since its start 10 years ago. It averages nearly $5 million in savings for the university annually.
While sustainability is a new area of concern for most schools, underage drinking is a very old one.
Colleges nationwide have been doing research on underage and binge drinking. That research shows that many schools are facing a major problem.
So I don't think it's more of a problem, but I think if it is a problem, every school has the same problem. So.
That same problem every school is struggling with is underage drinking. Boston University reported 250 students, mostly freshmen, were rushed to the hospital for intoxication last year.
I know a lot of people who did get in trouble for underage drinking and people that did get rushed to hospitals, but I think it's who you're around, the type of people you hang out with.
BU and other Boston schools like Fisher College have joined research groups to find a way to curb binge drinking. But with no answer yet, Fisher began to work with liquor stores near campus.
There are actually cameras that are on you, observing the purchase and sale of alcohol. So they can share images and say, hey, is this one of yours?
Catching it on camera seems to be the trend. Northeastern University is policing students' Facebook pages looking for pictures of underage students drinking alcohol.
You're always kind of worrying about, if somebody's going to post something, it's going to show up on somebody's news feed and you're going to get ratted out and, sanctioned by the university. But from a university perspective, it's brilliant.
The Fisher College Research Group is planning on surveying students, while the BU group will be meeting next year and will publish its results when the research is complete. Emerson College is seeing some change in national numbers. The private school in the Theater District has been ranked 3rd in this year's Princeton list of top gay-friendly schools. The school slipped 2 spots after ranking 1st last year. Although its rankings dropped, students are still pleased with the results.
I mean, I feel like, in this day and age, it's really changed. We've become a lot more accepting of the gay culture there. I mean, I know a lot of my friends here are gay, as well as my roommates there. So really, it's nice.
Boston University also ranked number 18 in the national list of gay-friendly colleges.
As 2 Boston schools make the list for gay friendliness, another is ranked for the opposite. Boston College has been ranked 8th in the Princeton Review's list of gay unfriendly colleges. The Jesuit school located in Newton is no stranger to the list, on it last year too, not surprising to many on campus.
It doesn't surprise me because I guess it just makes sense when you look at everything, when you look at the school as a whole. It is a very upscale, very rich school, very preppy school. A lot of, I guess people around here would call them bros, people who aren't really tolerant of other people who aren't like them. So.
Boston College is the only school in Massachusetts that made the unfriendly gay list this year. Community colleges in Massachusetts are in for a $20 million curriculum upgrade. The federal grant is part of a national $500 million award to help train students and the unemployed. The money will go towards courses like sciences, clean energy, and healthcare. Students and faculty in the biotechnology program at Roxbury Community College are already seeing the advantages of this grant.
Since we got the grant, we've got all this stuff, this instruments and all these protocol new things that we have to do. And when you go out to the real world, they're not really caring about how much you read in the book. They want to know more hands-on and what you can do on your own.
The biologic protein purification system from Bio-Rad is something that a lot of research labs and industrial labs use. So now it's here. We teach our students how to do it. This is something tangible they can write down on their resume.
Dr. Stieglitz also teaches biotechnology at Bunker Hill Community College, which received a portion of the grant.
That does it for this Colleges and Universities edition of Suffolk U News, the news program brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism at Suffolk University. I'm Jaleesa Rosari.
And I'm Andrew Scheinthal. Thank you for watching us here on the Boston Neighborhood Network or on the World Wide Web.
Be sure to continue to watch for Suffolk U News next, bringing you a special report on Boston, a city of health and hospitals.
From all of us here at Suffolk University in Studio 73, we wish you the best for the holiday season.
Goodbye.
Times is hard, baby, and the hustle is really on.